Hello and welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. This evening, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, is urging commercial banks to leverage the stability in the financial sector to drive economic growth. Speaking at a meeting with Chief Executive of Banks in Accra, Dr. Isiama emphasized that the gains made in stabilizing the banking system must now translate into tangible benefits for the real economy. Here's more.
The central bank governor at the meeting challenged the banks to channel more credit into productive sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and infrastructure development, which have the potential to accelerate job creation and improve the economy at large.
Colleagues, the road ahead is one of opportunity that is matched with responsibility. Remember, we have a stable macroeconomic base, inflation is easing, the currency is strong regardless, and reserves are healthy as we speak. Also remember that the banking sector is robust with the capacity to expand lending and deepen financial inclusion. And thirdly, remember that the regulatory agenda, as I've outlined, is forward-leaning. It is aligning Ghana with the highest international standards. Your tasks as leaders of the sector is to translate stability into growth, to channel more credit into productive enterprises, to support SMEs, to finance critical infrastructure, and leverage digital innovations to reach undeserved markets.
He also said the Bank of Ghana plans to engage the Ghana Association of Banks in the coming days to address concerns surrounding forward foreign exchange auctions and market liquidity.
At the same time, we will engage the Ghana Association of Banks in a structured discussion on proposals, some of which they have shared with us, relating to NOP support, relating to FX forward auctions, remittance coordination, and market liquidity, and all these with the aim of agreeing on practical, market-friendly solutions. Finally, we'll be undertaking a strategic business model thematic review, and this will involve a forward-looking assessment of the sustainability of bank strategies and will require the full engagement of boards of banks as well as senior management.
The meeting formed part of the central bank's ongoing engagement with the industry stakeholders to align policy objectives with private sector participation in economic development.
The Bank of Ghana has taken additional measures to deal with high non-performing loans in banks and other financial institutions in the country. More in the following report.
The Bank of Ghana in the notice argued that the action is aimed at dealing with increasing risks to industry's profitability, liquidity and solvency, as well as threats to the stability of the entire financial system. It also re-emphasized that these measures will be in addition to existing prudential guidance as well as best international practices for managing credit risk. The measures will push all these institutions to maintain a robust credit risk management framework and ensure that all their processes are in line with the new measures. Based on this new directive, banks and other financial institutions are expected to adequately manage credit granting functions. All these financial institutions have up to end of December next year to fully comply. According to the latest economic and financial data, total industry non-performing loans has reached about 20%.
And senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Ammoa, says it will take a while for banks to adjust their rates despite the significant drop in the policy rate and the Ghana reference rate. He argues the banks would have to recalibrate their systems to charge the corresponding rates on their facilities. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Ammoa appealed to businesses to exercise patience as banks work at reducing their interest rates.
It is not the case that the banks are reluctant. One expects that in a competitive space, the banks will have to react or respond to the reduction in rate. But we also need to understand the banks that they have also contracted the deposit from depositors. It is very possible that the banks may have, promised some rate on these deposits that they now have to consider the sort of loans and credit requests that they will meet. So yes, rates have declined from the monetary policy point of view, it has fed into the Ghana reference rate, like you rightly said, so the banks must respond. I believe strongly that they will respond, but we need to give the banks some time for them to recalibrate their system, assess the pool of deposits that they are mobilizing and the cost of those deposits. Now, they will then factor that into the loans that they are going to create. So it is not on one hand that once the rates have declined from BoG, then it means that the banks will have to also what? Decrease it. Yes, they will decrease, but they also have to look at their input cost and how that input cost by way of capital will influence their business. So yes, they will reduce it. It's just a matter of time.
Some industry players in Ghana's cryptocurrency space have welcomed the Bank of Ghana's decision to regulate the sector later this year. Chief Executive and Chairman of the Web3 Africa Group, Titus Baywa, says the move is crucial to foster innovation and growth in the fast-evolving digital asset market.
Under the theme Shaping the Digital Asset Future of Ghana, participants discussed blockchain adoption, regulation, and real-world applications from tokenized finance, digital identity systems to ESG reporting, and intra-African trade. Titus Baywa said a proper regulation will demystify blockchain and foster collaboration between government, private sector, academia, and civil society.
Just, the areas where, grassroots can be a part of it, because ultimately that's the heartbeat of the economy. The heartbeat of the economy is the trader, the driver, the person who's in the restaurant working, and we need to make sure that the regulation doesn't just work from the big corp down, but it works from the working class up. And that is what we need to challenge the regulator and the key stakeholders to do. What I would say from our personal engagement with them is they are thinking of every single area, and they are thinking of not just what is in the interest of commercial entities, but what is actually in the interest of the country as a whole, the country's economic system, and making sure that there are guardrails.
Other players have also been talking about the importance of cryptocurrency to the Ghanaian economy.
It's a very well-positioned market, and it's also a very strong economy, right? Because it has robust policies. I think what regulators and policymakers have done in the last couple of years, in fact, last 10 years, in fact, is very remarkable. And you've seen that through how the CD has strengthened, right? Especially recently. So why Ghana is important is because it's one of the anchors for the African continent.
The symposium was co-hosted by Web3 Africa Group and Binance, with support from the Bank of Ghana, the Security and Exchange Commission, and the Chamber of Digital Asset and Blockchain Innovation.
Trading activity on the Ghana Stock Exchange in 2024 was vibrant and underscored by heightened investor interest and liquidity. According to the 2024 Financial Stability Review, this reflected in 992 million shares changing hands with annual trade volume of 2.15 billion cedis in 2024. And this is relative to 579 million shares traded at a total value of 181.2 million cedis in 2023. More in this report.
According to the report, the information communication technology (ICT) sector continued to play a pivotal role, contributing significantly to both trade volumes and values, while the financial sector and exchange-traded funds also made important contributions to overall market turnover. The market's growth extended beyond trading figures to market capitalization. The year ended with a better-than-expected market capitalization of 111 billion cedis, reflecting an impressive 50% year-on-year growth from 74 billion cedis at the close of 2023. The surge in market capitalization was fueled by the sustained rally in share prices and the listing of Atlantic Lithium and Cowbank preference shares, which deepened market participation and diversity.
More from the financial space, Petrotrust has announced a strong financial posting for the year 2024. Now, both Tier 2 and 3 of Petro schemes recorded a net return on investment of over 22%. Head of Portfolio Management and Operations at Petrotrust, Yvonne Boliga, said the company will deepen its diversification strategies to ensure continuous growth in returns for members. Here's more from the company's annual general meeting.
The size of Petra's Tier 2 pension scheme grew by 37% to 3.2 billion cedis, while the Tier 3 scheme grew to 2.2 billion cedis, representing a 41% increase in 2024. Despite the economic downturn experienced in the year under review, Petra Trust believes its performance remains one of the best in the industry. Head of Portfolio Management and Operations at Petra Trust, Yvonne Boliga, shed more light on the company's financials.
For the Tier 2 scheme, we call it the Petra Advantage Pension Scheme. It closed the year with a net asset value of 3.3 billion Ghana cedis. It grew by an amount of 894 million Ghana cedis during the calendar year 2024. That represented a 37% increase from the previous year's net asset value. In terms of investments for the Tier 3, i.e. the Petra Opportunity Pension Scheme, we remain compliant throughout the year in accordance with the investment guidelines prescribed by the regulator, and we also remain compliant with the global reporting standards. In terms of returns, similar to what we recorded for our Tier 2 schemes, the Petra Opportunity Pension Scheme also returned about 22.77% for the year. Previous year, also north of 30%, above 36% to be precise.
She is optimistic about increased returns for members, considering the rebound of the economy.
Diversification is key for us. We are very big on that because that's the best way to balance risk with return. We are looking at moving further away from the government of Ghana securities. We noticed that being overly exposed to government of Ghana comes with some risks, as is the case with every other investment on the market. So we are looking to focus more quality credits, to be precise, quality credits with enhanced risk-adjusted yields or returns.
Meanwhile, Seth Kumson, head of retail at Petra Trust, highlighted some solutions crafted to offer value to members of their schemes.
We have the easy loan solution that basically allows scheme members to leverage their investments with us to access affordable credits or loans reasonably priced. Then we have the Easy Homes, which is our most exciting product right now, basically allowing scheme members to be able to own their own homes. We are working with trusted partners, reputable developers and financing partners to make sure that we are able to walk as many of our scheme members as possible through the home ownership journey. We want every scheme member to be able to own a home before they retire.
According to Petra Trust, it will continue to implement policies and strategies which will make it the most attractive pension fund manager in the country.
Young Accountants Network Team Lead Francis Mensah-Atta is urging young accountants to embrace emerging opportunities in the profession. Speaking at the launch of the network at the University of Ghana Business School, he emphasized the importance of innovation, integrity, and ethical leadership as the next step generation prepares to shape the country's financial future.
Launch of the Young Accountants Network aims to prepare young professionals for emerging and rapidly growing areas in the accountancy profession. Speaking at the launch, team lead Francis Mensah-Atta said the goal is to help young accountants build career paths beyond traditional bookkeeping while fostering integrity and innovation in leadership.
What we've noticed is the accountancy profession is changing. There are different fields. Development finance is emerging. ESG is emerging. Sustainability reporting is emerging. What we're trying to do with this group, YCAN, is to create opportunities for young people to be able to chart a path, a career path for themselves. So over the next 5 years, if someone wants to become an expert in any field in accountancy, what should it be? That's what this YCAN is about. And we are hopeful that our mentors can guide our young chartered accountants to be successful in the various fields that they choose.
At the launch of the Young Accountants Network, mentors and mentees came together to bridge the gap between academic knowledge and real-world practice in the accounting profession. One of the mentors, Dr. Redeemer Kraft, said the initiative will guide young accountants into emerging areas while helping them avoid early career pitfalls.
The young accountants may have the theory, pass very well, but when they get to the real world, they need to be guided. So the gap was clear, and the organizers decided, let's come together, the mentors and the mentees to come interact so that we give them a guide in getting to where they want to get to. So basically, that is what the idea is. It's about giving them a foresight to enable them think ahead of what they would anticipate and be able to develop their expertise in the relevant areas. Yeah, I would advise all young accountants, chartered accountants, and prospective accountants to take it very seriously, because some of us, we were not able to get mentors early. So we struggle to find our feet. But if you get mentors, you'll be able to cross a lot of challenges without knowing it.
For many young accountants, the network is more than just professional development. It is a chance to align career ambitions with personal passions. One of the mentees, Ruth Kofi, says her focus is on combining accountancy with technology.
I'm very happy to be part of this meeting or this network because it will help me to grow professionally and then also bring personal development to my career. And I registered for business, IT for accountancy, business analytics and then data analytics. And I have passion for IT as a young person. So I believe that this network will not just help me professional, but with the personal development as well.
The Global Conference on Human Resources in Africa 2025, in collaboration with the Society for Human Resource Management, has launched the opening of the Esquare Initiative. The education to employment pipeline aims to tackle existing gaps between academia and industry. More in the following report.
The opening of the Esquare Initiative, known as the Education to Employment Pipeline, featured an engaging session between participants and stakeholders, focusing on tackling existing gaps between academia and industry. The 2025 edition is dubbed Building the Education to Employment Pipeline, Synergies between Government, Academia and Industry. Speaking to Joy Business, Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Abdul Rashid Hassan Pelpo, warned that the academic industry gap will persist if the training given to students is not transformed to meet industry demands. He stressed that it's now a government policy priority with efforts already underway to address the challenge.
We need to close it by the kind of training we give to students from class 1 up to the university levels. We need to improve the kind of training we give. Our government is working very hard to close it. We are improving TVET skills, we are improving educational skills at all levels. We are even taxing workers themselves right now to have more skills, to beef up their skills, to give them more confidence that, look, in putting up, in training yourself to reach a certain level, is going to add more to your value than your existing situation. So it is a policy now and we are working towards it.
Chief Executive and President of the Society for Human Resource Management, Johnny Taylor, emphasized the need for human intelligence and artificial intelligence to work in sync, noting that such integration is crucial for boosting productivity in today.
And what we're trying to do in this phase of our work is to determine how AI and HI will work together. Some people believe, for example, that AI is going to replace human beings. It will displace them and leave them without the ability to do work. The reality is we think that's not accurate. There are going to be some jobs that will be obviously impacted by AI, but not all of them. And so what we're trying to do is explore, get in front of what are those jobs that will be impacted, how can we help the impacted individuals prepare themselves for the future of work.
As discussions advance into the coming days, lead consultant for operational excellence at the Global Conference on Human Resources in Africa, David Wilson, urged human resource practitioners and other key stakeholders to actively participate in the conference to enhance operational efficiency within HR practice.
Day 2 is going to be great. If you've not registered already, you've got to register. You know, there are still some seats, limited seats available. We we have the masterclass on Friday as well, which are separate events that you can come and participate in. So we're excited, and we call out to all HR professionals out there. You know, the SHRM team is here, CIHRM is here, all your colleagues from all over Africa are here. So we call on you to come network and empower yourselves, get the nuggets you need to make your organizations more productive and efficient.
The Esquare Initiative continues to serve as a platform for dialogue between government, academia, and industry leaders aimed at shaping a more responsive education to employment pipeline.
This is still prime business. The Design and Technology Institute, in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, has graduated a fresh cohort of Mastercraft persons with art and artisans trained in precision quality at work. The initiative aims to integrate Ghana's vast informal sector into the formal economy by equipping artisans with world-class skills, business discipline, and a commitment to excellence.
The graduates trained in both technical and business skills are expected to return to their communities as ambassadors of quality, mentoring apprentices, embracing innovation, and integrating their enterprises into the larger Ghanaian economy. Here is founder of the Design and Technology Institute, Constance Swanika.
Today brings together a culmination of artisans from across different industries. So we have artisans from mostly the informal sector going through an intensive 3-day training and post-training in precision quality. And one of the biggest challenges that we see is the lack of standards amongst artisans in Ghana. Unfortunately, you know, because of the way they've been trained informally, the concept of precision quality or working at standards doesn't exist. And we see that as a stumbling block or the hindrance to why they're unable to scale up their businesses. No, we're training 9,500 artisans from across Ghana. And this is just the graduation of the Accra cohort of master craftsmen that we've trained. So we're very excited with the rollout and the growing movement for precision quality in Ghana.
The initiative is part of a broader effort to transform Ghana's informal sector, which employs millions but has long struggled with inconsistent standards and limited market access.
I must say that precision quality is a transformative project that have been able to help some of us who are BSAs on the project to be able to impact on lives, especially businesses in Greater Accra here.
GTI's partners, including the Registrar General's Department and Fidelity Bank, are helping the artisans formalize their businesses and access finance, laying the groundwork for sustainable growth.
Kasapreco PLC says it is putting people before profit through its Awake One for Life initiative, which channels resources into healthcare, clean water, and environmental sustainability. Here's more.
At the National Cardiothoracic Center, Kasapreco PLC is set to donate its Awake One for Life initiative. The social impact program supports Ghanaians living with cardiovascular diseases, provides clean drinking water to deprived communities, and promotes environmental sustainability through tree planting. Marketing manager Linda Adu says the initiative, launched alongside the Awake Purified Drinking Water brand, is part of the company's broader mission to invest in the well-being of its customers while strengthening the mother brand's image beyond its popular alcoholic product.
As a business, Kasapreco, people matter over profit. So in our earlier submission, you realize that we mentioned that when we're starting the brand Awake Purified Drinking Water, we started it with consideration to helping Ghanaians living with various vascular diseases. So at Kasapreco, being a fully owned Ghanaian company, we want to give back to the same Ghanaians who've kept us in business since 1979. So this is just one of the many things we do. I mean, with this brand, we are focused on giving back to people with cardiovascular diseases. We also go to towns without access to potable drinking water. We drill boreholes. And we also have a tree planting initiative all centered around this One for Life. One for Life meaning that every Ghanaian is entitled to quality life. Ghanaians have accepted it and they are patronizing our product. And people are knowing more about the mother brand Kasapreco, not only being into alcoholic brands, but also doing water that is Awake Purified Drinking Water and other CSDs.
Director of the National Cardiothoracic Center, Dr. Ko Enchua-Mensah says the Awake One for Life initiative has already transformed the lives of 143 patients since 2016. The latest donation of 300,000 Ghana cedis is set to help many more awaiting urgent operations.
The treatment of heart diseases is very expensive, and most patients are not able to afford the payment out of pocket. So frequently, when patients come to us after the diagnosis is made and after the bill is given, they need the support of some charitable organization or individuals to come to their aid to be able to pay for their surgery. That is when Awake Mineral Water came in as a charity-driven initiative to produce water and use part of the proceeds to support the many patients who need funding for surgery. We started this journey in 2016, and till now they have supported 143 patients to be able to access surgery. The donation that they have done today is for the second and third quarter of 2025, amounting to 300,000 Ghana cedis. And this is also going to be applied to save many people who are on the waiting list and who need urgent surgery.
Kasapreco PLC says it will continue using the Awake One for Life initiative to deliver life-saving support and community impact across Ghana.
Thanks so much for your company. I am Pius Kojobaka. Daniel is next with sports.